Our next presentation is very interesting. It's another report, actually. So we're going to be talking about a retail report, talking about change, agility, opportunity, and embracing today's digital consumer. Please welcome to the stage the Executive Vice President for Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa for Mastercard Data and Services. And I want to pronounce this correctly. Is it Mete Guney? Guney. Please welcome him to the stage. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome before the coffee break. This is your last session before this break. Well, you might be wondering why Mastercard, a payment technology company, is sponsoring a retail conference. Well, Mastercard is in fact beyond a payment technology company, and I'm leading services business in our region for Eastern Europe and Middle East and Africa. And services is a major business unit composed of several capabilities, including but not limited to advisory services, loyalty platforms, cybersecurity and fraud solutions, e-commerce, payment gateway, and many others. Around the region and globally, we work with airlines, financial institutions, supermarket chains, grocery stores, digital players to grow their revenues, to grow their customer base, to optimize their pricing and sales strategy, to secure their transactions against fraudsters, or digitally transform their customer journeys by using best-in-class platforms. Around the world, we work with the biggest airlines to design and execute their loyalty platforms. The biggest fast food restaurant globally is leveraging Mastercard's personalization engine to hyper-personalize menus with 50 billion API calls every month. The biggest coffee chain is also using our reward and segmentation solution with their mobile banking application. And there are many others. And our objective is to help all these retailers to succeed in this changing climate. Talking about change, we have already been seeing a rapid change with secure shift to digital all around the world. But with the COVID, with the pandemic, everything accelerated. And today, I think we are facing a new world and a new consumer. Talking about a new world, it is not a different planet. We are still on Mother Earth. But everything surrounding us, political, macroeconomical, environmental, and social conditions have been changing significantly. With all the fluctuations in commodity pricing, with the ongoing problems in the supply chain, the pressure on consumer prices will continue. And we will most likely see these prices increasing for the foreseeable future. And on top of that, access to cash, access to funding tools will be much more challenging and costly, making the purchase of big-ticket items much more challenging. And talking about change in consumers and the new consumer, in fact, we are not talking about a new individual, but we are talking about a new behavior of consumers. We have heard about our guests, other panelists, talking about omni-channel. Today, 65% of consumers start a transaction with a mobile phone, but complete with a different device. But it looks like omni-channel is already outdated. There are different ways how they interact and what they expect. We heard the term of unified commerce or feed digital, right? This is the right term. And in fact, I want to give you a couple of other examples. I'm sure many of you are using influencers. But I don't know if you have heard about Lil Miquela or Yokes. These are influencers, but they don't exist in real life. But they have millions of followers. Again, talking about the consumer, the new consumer, what do they expect from us? Talking about loyalty solutions. Many of you, I'm sure you have these earn and burn platforms, and you must be happy. But I'm afraid you are wrong. Only 25% of consumers are really expecting an earn and burn loyalty solution. The rest is expecting personalization. They are expecting experiences. They are expecting being recognized. Can you deliver it today? I think that's a very important question. Talking about change, how do they pay? In January 2020, share of contactless transactions in UAE was 1%. Today, it is 95%. In less than 3 years, look at the amount of shift. Almost 50% of consumer spending is online. And if you still don't exist online, I think you don't have a future. Looking at, for instance, grocery spending, the pace, the growth of groceries online spending is 3 times the in-person spending in that category. But it is not only cards, debit, credit, or contactless. If we look at other forms of payments, in fact, 25% of adults have used a cryptocurrency solution in the last 24 months. And 75% believe that NFTs or cryptos can be the future of money. And another form of change in terms of when they buy. In the past, we were always waiting for the weekend to make purchases. But what we have seen after COVID is, in fact, 5% of weekend behavior spending is moved to weekdays. And also small businesses are winning. Their growth in terms of online spending in small business is 3 times more than the large retailers. And last but not the least, what do they look for in the brand, in your value proposition? Maybe it was only price, promotion, quality in the past, but there are other things that they are looking for today. They are looking for sustainability. They are looking for environmentally friendly solutions. ESG is not a boardroom topic discussion anymore. It needs to be embedded into how you design your products. It needs to be embedded into how you sell, how you interact. So there are so many changes happening in our world. There are so many changes happening with the consumers. And there are lots of questions that we need to answer. For instance, is the technology the right solution for addressing our problems? Is it the opportunity? Or is it just a means to an end? I just want to share a quote I really like a lot. We always overestimate the impact that will be created by technology in the next 2 years, but we always underestimate the impact that it will create in the next 10 years. What about data? We talked about data in the last presentation. Here I want to share another quote. Data is the new oil. The prosperity created by oil in the last 50 years will be created by data in the next 50 years. But crude oil is useless. You need a refinery to use oil, right? Do you have your data refinery? Do you have the capability to use your data? I think this is also a very important question. In terms of our go-to-market models, are we going to partner? Are we going to compete? Here is another quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So there are many other questions that we need to address with respect to changing world, with respect to changing consumers, changing consumer behaviors. If you ask my opinion, the short answer is just put the needs of consumers to the epicenter of everything that you do. Whether you are designing a product, you are designing your go-to-market strategy, or a new website. Everything should start with the needs of the consumers. I'm sure today and the rest of the speakers will help us to answer most of these questions, and I'm wishing you a great day and a pleasant coffee break. Thank you.